The devastating impact. America's nuclear attack on Japan. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II remain two of the most controversial events in human history. The decision by the United States to unleash nuclear weapons on these Japanese cities in August 1945 had profound and lasting consequences, shaping the course of warfare, international relations, and humanity's perception of nuclear power. This article delves into the events leading to the attacks, the motivations behind the decision, and the aftermath of one of the darkest chapters of modern warfare. The context of World War II. By the summer of 1945, World War II had ravaged the globe for nearly 6 years, and the Pacific theater was one of the fiercest battlegrounds. Japan, under the leadership of Emperor Hirohito, showed no signs of surrender, despite facing immense military pressure from the Allied forces, primarily the United States. The decision to use nuclear weapons. In the race to end the war swiftly and decisively, the United States initiated the top-secret Manhattan Project, a research program aimed at developing the world's first atomic bomb. The project culminated in the successful testing of the bomb in New Mexico on July 16, 1945. With the knowledge of this newfound and terrifying weapon, President Harry S. Truman, who had assumed office after President Roosevelt's death, faced an agonizing decision: continue the costly and deadly war with Japan or utilize the unprecedented power of nuclear weapons to force an end to hostilities. The bombings. On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped the first atomic bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, on Hiroshima, a major Japanese city. The devastation was immense, with an estimated 70,000 to 80,000 people killed instantly and many more dying later due to radiation exposure and injuries. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, a second atomic bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, resulting in an estimated 40,000 immediate deaths. The total death toll from both bombings, including those who died from long-term effects, has been debated, but it is estimated to be over 200,000. Aftermath and legacy. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki had several immediate effects. On August 15, 1945, 6 days after the Nagasaki bombing, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's unconditional surrender, marking the end of World War II. The use of nuclear weapons, however, ushered in a new era of fear and anxiety in global politics, the nuclear age. The horrors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki prompted a worldwide debate on the moral and ethical implications of using nuclear weapons. The bombings intensified efforts to prevent further nuclear proliferation, leading to the establishment of the United Nations in 1945 and eventually the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, in 1970. The bombings also ignited discussions on the ethical principles of warfare and the concept of just war. Critics argue that the bombings constituted a disproportionate use of force against civilians, while proponents argue that the attacks ultimately saved lives by hastening the war's end and avoiding the need for a costly Allied invasion of Japan. Conclusion. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain a subject of intense historical and moral debate. The decision by the United States to unleash nuclear weapons on Japan undoubtedly marked a turning point in human history, affecting the way the world viewed war, nuclear power, and the role of the international community in preventing future conflicts. Reflecting on this dark chapter, we are reminded of the urgency to uphold peace, diplomacy, and global cooperation to ensure that such a devastating event is never repeated.